Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Derek Martinez. Officials have released additional details regarding the shooting in Wilkes-Barre on Sunday. According to officials, Wilkes-Barre City Police were called to Mayor Street around 11 a.m. on Sunday, October 6th, for reports of domestic violence. The incident reportedly occurred between a female resident and her 43-year-old ex-husband, who no longer lived at the residence. When police arrived at the scene, the male had left the area, which led police to follow him to his residence on Holland Street. When officers reached the male, they found him yelling in the street. The call then devolved into a shooting incident, which resulted in the male being struck by gunfire. The male was transported to a local hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. An autopsy was later performed on the male, which determined his death was the result of the gunshot wounds. Pennsylvania State Police Troop P and the Luzerne County District Attorney's Office are still investigating the incident. Anyone with information regarding the case is asked to contact Pennsylvania State Police Troop P at 570-821-4110. Police in Northumberland County say multiple shots were fired during an incident in Shamokin on Saturday. According to the Shamokin Police Department, officers were called to the scene at the intersection of North Market and East Commerce Street for a report of shots fired. Following an investigation, officers learned that 26-year-old Jose Rodriguez Melendez had allegedly approached a man in a black Dodge Charger and pointed a gun at him. Police say the other man then took out a gun and fired 4 shots at Rodriguez Melendez, causing the driver to flee the scene, according to police. Court documents report that the man fired 4 more shots at the vehicle while it was fleeing. Investigators say the driver then made a U-turn and let out a juvenile who was in the vehicle. Rodriguez Melendez then fired 1 shot while passing Commerce Street. Rodriguez Melendez was later found at his home and was arrested without incident. He faces charges of attempted homicide, aggravated assault, and endangering the welfare of a child. No injuries have been reported. It is unknown if other charges have been filed against those involved in the incident. 4 men are wanted in Tannersville following charges of fraud from last year. In November of 2023, the Pocono Township Police Department received a report from a victim of fraudulent withdrawals occurring on her bank account. Through further investigation, it was revealed that the victim's checks and checking account information had been passed to several suspects to obtain funds from her account. The investigation revealed 4 suspects, who were identified as 20-year-old Eric David Hernandez Nafante of Rhode Island, 42-year-old Jordan Herrera of Florida, 26-year-old Alexander Jaziel Lugo Javier of the Dominican Republic, and 36-year-old Jonas Guerrero Samedi of Florida. All 4 men are charged with access device fraud, theft by unlawful taking, and forgery, among other charges. Warrants have been issued for the arrest of all 4 suspects. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of any of the individuals is asked to submit a tip to the Pocono Township Police Department at monroe.crimewatchpa.com. Coming up on WYLN News, the Hazleton Public Transit Office announces an upcoming closure for Columbus Day. Plus, the annual Drive for Autism Golf Tournament is right around the corner. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
WYLN News is brought to you by Lehigh Valley Health Network. Do you remember cranking down the car windows so you can pump up the jam? If you do, schedule your mammogram online today. Visit lvhn.org/mammo.
So break your sunglasses.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts, just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Watch PTN on WYLN.
FNL Doors, your trusted overhead door supplier for over 50 years, providing quality products and services to Eastern PA and beyond with 2 strategic locations. They carry garage doors from leading manufacturers in the industry like Rainer. They guarantee parts and service for your home or business, from new construction to replacement doors, inspections, and service calls. FNL Doors stands behind every job, taking pride in the work they do. Call 800-344-DOOR or visit FNL Doors online at fldoors.com or visit their showrooms in Hazel Township or Schuylkill Haven. Like and follow WYLN News on Facebook for the WYLN News Midday Update, posted daily between noon and 2 p.m., powered by Lehigh Valley Health Network. When it's serious, there's only one health network with seriously innovative health institutes. Lehigh Valley Health Network, your health deserves a partner. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. It's high school football time on WYLN TV 35. Check out the game of the week and join Marty Burns, Joe DeMelfi, and the entire WYLN sports team as they bring live high school football to you. Watch over the air in Channel 7 or 507 or online. The game of the week is brought to you by the Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute, the region's leader in sports medicine.
Welcome back to WYLN News. Pennsylvania Senator Linda Schlegel-Culver has announced that she will be hosting office hours in Elysburg on October 18th. The office hours will be held at St. Mark's Lutheran Church on North Market Street from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. During the office hours, residents can take advantage of the same services available at Culver's other offices, including assistance with property tax rent rebate program applications, unemployment compensation claims, and PennDOT paperwork. Staff will also be available to provide information about state legislation and to make referrals to agencies to resolve state-related matters. The office hours will continue to be held at St. Mark Lutheran Church on the third Friday of each month. During their visit, residents are asked to use the entrance and parking lot on the Penn Avenue side of the church. To make an appointment, you can call 570-339-5937. The City of Hazleton has announced that the Hazleton Public Transit Office will be closed on Monday, October 14th, in observance of Columbus Day. The Church Street station will remain open and the buses will be running. Regular office hours will resume on Tuesday, October 15th. Supporting autism and families everywhere is inviting the public to take part in their annual Drive for Autism golf tournament. The golf tournament will take place on October 11th at the Blue Ridge Trail Golf Course and Mountaintop. Registration for the event is on a first-come, first-served basis beginning at 11 a.m. The cost to participate is $500 for 4 golfers. Funds raised during the event will benefit SAFE, a nonprofit organization providing support for families and children with autism. For additional information about SAFE or the golf tournament, you can visit autismsafe.org. Coming up on St. Clair's News Choice, Chris Fulmer leads us down the path through history with Lehighton Part 2. Plus, we learned some tips for online safety on this week's Trooper Talk Tuesday. And stay right here on WYLN. We'll be right back.
Penn State Hazleton is improving the lives of others, starting in our community.
Providing degrees that meet the needs of the area.
Fueling entrepreneurship and contributing more than $36 million annually to the state's economy.
researching the health of our local ecosystem on the Susquehanna River.
Together, our impact keeps growing, backed by the strength of 24 campuses and 700,000 alumni.
You will love the feel-good feeling you get when you shop at Grand Central in Nescopeck and Hazleton. You will enjoy a no-pressure professional sales staff, experienced delivery crew, service after the sale,
and don't forget, everyday low prices.
No matter what you're shopping for in your home, we have you covered with top brand names like Flex Steel, Lazy Boy England, and Dillon Custom Rugs.
With our enormous selection and the flexibility to finance interest-free for up to 60 months, Grand Central makes it easy to make your house a home.
Contact Pete Kasalika for a home and auto quote today.
Attention WYLN viewers, WYLN TV can now be seen on the Hazleton Service Electric Cablevision HD tier, channel 507, and over the air at 35.1. WYLN, we're your local network.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online.
Lehighton would be formally incorporated as a borough in 1861. It had already found a way to bring the community together a few years earlier with the premiere of the Great Lehighton Fair in 1858. Held in the grounds of today's Lehighton Area High School, the fair was in operation all the way through 1992, when it would evolve into today's Carbon County Fair. Among the earliest businesses in Lehighton after its founding were grist mills and tanneries. Other industries would eventually take hold as well. The Lehigh Stove Foundry Manufacturing Company was an early example, begun in 1865 in the oldest building in town at the corner of Lehigh Drive and Main Lane. It would remain in operation until 1927. Joseph Obert, who began his time in Lehighton as a cabinet maker and grocer, began a slaughterhouse in 1867. Pigs and cow would be taken straight off the train and driven to the facility for processing. Although it burned down in 1875, Obert rebuilt it bigger than ever and continued processing its meat into the 1930s. Frederick Leukel began as a butcher, then branched out into banking. He and his son John built the Leukel Building, the biggest structure downtown, in 1894. The building still stands today as a dentist's office. And Benjamin Colton began as a confectioner, then expanded by buying out George Snyder's bakery in 1900, which proved a very profitable business for him. His wife Maria had also made a small fortune with her hat-making shop, and the two of them purchased much real estate in downtown Lehighton. Cigar factories were also a notable business in Lehighton. 5 of them operate in the borough at various times, including A.F. Diefendorfer's and I.S. Cuck's. Isborn Cuck, owner of the latter, would later get a chance to prove his worth as an amateur detective in 1900, when the body of a man was found in Packerton Yards, having drunk a fatal bottle of carbonic acid. From conversations with his customers while making business trips through the Lehigh Valley, Cuck was able to positively identify the victim as George J. Jones of Richmond Town, Bucks County. For the official officers of the law in Lehighton, the lookout for criminals in the community never ceased. Of course, in 1870, the police's suspicions would be heightened following a bank robbery in Wilkes-Barre. Soon after the crime, a quartet of men were seen hanging around Mance's hotel in a suspicious manner. Gossip soon spread about their possible involvement in the heist, and Constable John Weston decided to bring them in. When he and his men attempted to approach the suspects at the hotel, however, the presumed robbers drew their guns and escaped out the back of the hotel, swimming across the frigid Lehigh River in the middle of a February snowstorm. Weston quickly rounded up a posse and doubled around into the crooks on the other side of the river in Weissport, taking them into custody after a quick fight. The suspects were convicted and sentenced to 20 years in Philadelphia's Eastern State Penitentiary, where they would all pass on. Rumors persisted around Lehighton for years afterwards about $30,000 in cash, bonds, and securities, perhaps buried in Packerton Dip east of Weissport. And in May 1906, 3 unfamiliar men came to town. That evening, they were seen digging over in Weissport. In the general area the loot was rumored to have been found. Gunshots would be heard overnight, and one of the men would be found shot dead in the site the following morning. The apparent buried loot, if it ever was there, was never found. Towards the end of the 1800s, several other landmark businesses would get their start in Lehighton. Fred Horlocker would open a bottling company on Bridge Street in the 1880s. He and his son George would eventually move their business to Allentown, and as the Horlocker Brewing Company would produce beer for the Lehigh Valley and beyond through 1978. Another business chose to remain in Lehighton, the Bayer Silk Mill, which opened in 1898 at Bridge and South 7th Streets. It would be the largest employer in Lehighton proper, with 264 workers at its peak. Owner Eugene Bayer was a third-generation member of a family of silk magnates from Paterson, New Jersey. Eventually, additional mills would open in both Berwick and Turbotville. The Lehighton Bayer Silk Mill closed in the 1970s. 1901 saw the Pan American Exposition open to guests in Buffalo, meant to be a showcase of American progress. Among the attendees at the Great Fair was Theodore Snyder, who had first come to Lehighton as a school principal and had stayed in town to become a wealthy solicitor and land developer. While at the fair, Snyder fell in love with the Michigan Pavilion, one of several pavilions that were sponsored by states across the country. The building, designed by Detroit's Lewis Camper at the cost of $10,000, was white with a green roof and featured a wide hall and luxurious parlors inside. Like almost all the buildings at the exposition, it was set to be auctioned off following the fair's end. Snyder knew very quickly that he wanted the building, and so, in October 1901, 1 month after William McKinley was assassinated by anarchist Leon Czolgosz inside the exposition's Temple of Music, Snyder, through his agent James Hurd, successfully bid $500 for the Michigan Pavilion. The building was dismantled and started arriving in Lehighton in pieces in early 1903. Snyder had the pavilion reassembled at the corner of 7th and Iron Streets, which was then still mostly a rural area. He renamed the building the Colonial Court Mansion, which soon earned plaudits as one of the most elegant homes in the entire Lehigh Valley. In addition to the mansion itself, the grounds also featured a pond, gardens, and a zoo with peacocks and deer. Theodore Snyder lived in the Colonial Court Mansion until his death on May 16, 1907. His widow Emma remained there until just before her own death in 1915. Their children leased the mansion to Charles and Phoebe Miller, who hoped to operate as a boarding house. These plans would come crashing down, however, on April 7, 1916, when the mansion caught on fire. Muddy roads and fire hydrants also clogged with mud prevented firefighters from being able to do anything to save the Colonial Court Mansion, which burned completely to the ground. A private residence now stands on the site. Only 2 other buildings from the Pan American Exposition still stand today. The New York Pavilion, which today houses the Buffalo History Museum on its original site, and the Wisconsin Pavilion, which is now a summer house in Ontario.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Tune in and see all the unique places to stay and things to do in the Pocono Mountains. Watch PTN on WYLN.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600. Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. Hey, did you know WYLN posts news stories and other bonus content on social media all week long? The Weather Kids, Fresh from the Farm, Everyday Heroes, Let's Talk Sports, Feel Good Friday, daily news stories, and more. Visit WYLNTV.com, Facebook, and YouTube to check it out. WYLN, the local leader on social media. We're your local network.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another segment here of Trooper Talk Tuesday. I'm Trooper Anthony Petrowski, Trooper and Public Information Officer. Today I'm here to talk to you about online safety, specifically for our young adults, our kids. Now, I understand it's easy to give them their tablets, their phones, their laptops and say, go ahead to your room, you can go on social media, you can play online video games, I gotta make dinner, I worked all day. I get that, but we cannot have that mentality. We have to make sure that we know what our kids are looking at on the internet because this is a new age of technology. They have the world at their fingertips and we have to ensure their safety. Why? Because there's online predators out there that are using the same social media apps, playing the same online video games that they are playing, and they're communicating with them. And they don't know any better because they think everybody has the same intentions as them, good intentions, but unfortunately they're not. So parents, guardians, we need to look at these settings on our apps. We need to make sure that all of their social media accounts are private accounts and not public. When your account is private, you remain in control of who sees your content, who could send you a direct or private message. If their account is public, they have no control who sees their content and who could send them a direct or private message, which is where these online predators will try to contact them, and they will ask them for inappropriate things. So we have to know who they're contacting, who they're communicating with. Also, these online video games, same thing goes. These online predators are playing the same games, and they're using the grooming process on them. They're telling them how great they are at these games, and then they're asking them for their social media accounts, which is where they could communicate with them and ask for inappropriate things. So again, have these talks with your kids. Know that not everybody out there using the same apps and online games as them have the same intentions. There are dangers out there, and we as parents and guardians need to be aware of who our kids are communicating with, what apps they are using, and look at the restrictions. Put on safety mode. Again, put all of their social media accounts on private. This is one way you can remain in control and learn. Learn the apps they're using, know how to use them so you could go into the settings and make sure that they are safe. If you have any other questions about online safety regarding kids, please reach out to me here at the State Police Barracks at Hazleton. I'll catch you next time on Trooper Talk Tuesday.
You're watching WYLN TV 35.